Hello good people, welcome back to my channel, and in this particular video we are going to tackle yet another CSS battle challenge. We are going to create this shape on my right hand side here. The way I approach it might not necessarily be the optimal way, but it is probably like the best way according to my current skill set. So if you think of any other ways you would approach this, please just let me know in the comment section. And if you also want to tackle this challenge, just do that, and let's share and discuss in the comment section. So without further ado, let me get started. So first, let me look at the problem. So the problem here, we have I can see that we have three shapes: this one, and this one. These three shapes are rotated. Actually, two of the three shapes are rotated. This one and this one, they are rotated. And these pointy things here, these pointy things can be achieved in several ways, but the way I'm thinking of is the clip path method. So I'm going to be using clipping path to achieve this. And these colors here, coming from this light one to this darker pink, coming back to the lighter one here, I'm thinking of giving these each and every one of these a background of a linear gradient that starts that graduates from this one to this one and then back to this one again. And as for this circle, I am going to make it a pseudo element, an after or a before. Then of course I'm going to give it similar width and height, and then I'm going to give it a border radius of 50%. Now I am going to start now. I will start by creating this div here, right? This one. Okay. Actually, like I said, that we need three divs. Let's actually put these three divs: div number 2 and div number 3. And then we are going to give body some background. So let's say bg color. So this is an attribute for body bg color, and we're going to give it this color here. Right there we have it. Now let's go on and style the divs, because they all look similar. So we just select div, and then let's give these divs height of, let's start with 200 pixels, and then width of 50 pixels. Actually, we don't need these pixels, they are sort of like assumed already. And let's give background. For now, let's just give it a background of red so that we can see them. And then, so we actually have the three divs here that are the ones that are covering that space. So it's like one on top of the other. Now let's give them a position of fixed. I can already see that here, this is the center here. So this one is at the center. It's at the center horizontally, like from left to right, it's at the center. And then it's also at the center vertically, like from top to bottom, it's at the center again. Now, for us to calculate that, there is actually a trick. So we check the halfway mark of this whole container here, and you see that it's actually 200, because like the width here is 400, so it's 200. And then that 200, we subtract the half of this shape here, which is 25. So we say 200 minus 25, something like this. So we say left, 200 minus 25. What is that? That's 175, right? That's 175. As you can see, is the center. As for the top, after doing my calculations, I think this has to be 220, and then half of 300 is 150, right? And half of 220 should be 40, right? Should be 50. That's 50, right? So we say top 50. Okay, let's see. No, it's 40, not 50. It's 40. Now we are aligned. Now what's next? Now let's deal with the color of the shapes on the background here. Let's actually say linear gradient, and we are going to need these two colors actually. So it's this one, and followed by this one, and back again to this one. So by default, the gradient starts from the top going to the bottom. Now what we need to do here is to set where the gradient starts and ends. So now it's going to start at 50 pixels. Or am I not doing it well? So not 50 pixels, in fact, low. So it will end at 30 pixels. Now at 30 pixels, we start the next one, right? So we are done here. So at 30 pixels, we've started the next one, and then it's going to start at 30 pixels and it's going to end at how many pixels? We want to leave 30 pixels at the bottom, so we have moved 30 already. So we've moved to 30 pixels. Now the height of this one is 220, so if we remove 30 at the bottom, it should be 190. So let's put 190 pixels, right? And then from here we start at 190 pixels again, and the end is assumed to be 100% or 220 pixels. Here, how can I explain this part here? So we started at our gradient is like it started at 0 and it ended at 30 pixels. So at the beginning one is like the beginning is already known. It's default. It's assumed. It's it's straightforward. It's at the beginning here. That's where the gradient starts, and then if you put in only a single number, it will be assumed to be the end of the gradient. And this one, we need the beginning and the end because it's not known really. And then from 190, the end is assumed that is 210. So what is next? Now let's make those pointy things. We're going to use something called clip path, right? The clip path, we say polygon. So this is the shape we want for the clip path to take. So you can really draw any polygon with clip path, starting from a rectangle, actually going up to any type of polygon and even non-polygon arrows and you name it. So now we want to start, we can start here, I guess, like this part here. So that point on x-axis is from left to right, right? On x-axis, on that shape, we can see that it's at 0, and then on y-axis, it's actually from the top, it's actually 30 pixels, as you remember from our gradient here. So we have moved 30 pixels down, so it's 30 pixels, right? And then the next point is this one here. So our x came from this point up to this point, which is halfway, or halfway, you can just say 50% or 25 pixels, because the width is 50 pixels, right? So halfway, our X is 25 pixels, and then our Y is still at 0 because it didn't move, because it's at the top, right? So Y didn't go down. So Y is either up or down, then X left or right. So our Y remains there. So say Y is equal to 0. And then we'll put our comma. Now we come to this part here, to this point here. Our X moved 100% from here to here, so it moved 50 pixels. And our Y moved also from here to here, it moved 100%. So our X moved 100%, which is like 50 pixels, right? It moved 50 pixels. And then our Y moved like 30 pixels. 30 pixels. Now you see our shape is starting to look like a real shape now. Now we come here. So here our Y, right? Our Y moved from here up to here, then our X from here up to here. So it's like our X moved how many pixels from here to here? That's 50 pixels. So our X is 50 pixels, and then our Y moved up to here, which is 220 pixels. That is the height of this whole shape, minus 30 pixels, which is like 175, right? Is it 220 minus 30? So it's 190, not 175. Is this one 190 pixels, right? Okay, you see our shape starting to shape up. Now we want this point here. This point, our X moved halfway from here to here, so it's 25 pixels. And then our Y, oh, let's put the comma here. Then our Y moved, we are dealing with this shape, right? Our Y moved to the bottom, which is like 220 pixels. You see, it's starting to look like something. Then here our X is at 0 because we didn't move to the left or to the right, so it's at 0, right? So X is at 0, and then our Y is at 220 minus 30 pixels, which is at 190 pixels, right? Now our shape is done. Then what is next? We want to rotate this shape and this shape. Now, for us to know how many degrees to rotate, we need to know that we have 3 shapes, and a full rotation is 360 degrees. So what we need to do is to actually divide 360 degrees by 3. So let's see, I think it's 120. Let me confirm with my calculator. Yeah, it is 120. So what we need to do, let's come here and give this one an ID of J, and then this one an ID of K. So let's come here and select our J, right, with JID, and rotate. This is a new CSS property, rotate 120 degrees. You see, if we come here and check, you see they are matching very well. And another way of doing it, of rotating, I'm going to show you in the next shape here, the K. You can say transform, right, and then you say rotate, and then you say 50, you say minus 120 degrees, right? That will work. You see, that will work. You see, we used 120 degrees. You can as well just double this one and put 240 degrees instead. So it's 240 degrees, something like that. We achieve the same result. But now here we are striving for fewer characters. So let's just use rotate and say 240 degrees. Now we are almost there. Now we want this shape that is at the top, is it the shape that is at the top? Let's see, background green. Yeah, this is the shape at the top. So we want to actually put that circle into that shape. So we would say K after, right? It's a pseudo element. A pseudo element is more like a child of the item that we have put here, right? So it's more like a child. I'll show you how that knowledge is going to benefit us just some few seconds ahead. So we can say content property is a must, and then we can say width, that is definitely 50 pixels, and height definitely 50 pixels again, and border radius is again 50% to make it a circle. First of all, let's make sure that we are seeing it actually. Let me put the 50% later, but now we need to say display block, right? And what else? Display block height, width, height 50 pixels. Now display block, background color, that is very important. So it's hiding somewhere there, we're not seeing it. Background color, I've just copied that one. Background color, you see, it's somewhere here. You see, you can see where it is, somewhere here, it's hiding here. And then what we need to do now, we want to put it at the center of this one, because like if we say this K here, if we say background green like we did before, you can see where our before is seated there, right? So what we can do for it to go to the center, we can say display flex, then we say justify content center, and align items center. You see, now it's at the center. Now let's remove the green here, it looks really terrible. Let's remove it. You see, it's at the center. Now what we need to do is to just give it a border radius of 50%. You see, we are done. So if we try the diff, you see, it meshed. So that was all, my friends, and I hope you took one or two tricks from my challenge, and I am going to see you in the next one.